Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. Investigations are underway into a fire which destroyed a two-storey home at Bonnells Bay last night. The blaze broke out around 6:45pm in the Wood Street home, with more than 30 firefighters called in to battle the flames. It's believed the fire may have spread from a caravan next to the house. Fire and Rescue Acting Superintendent Matt Sigmund says there were initial concerns someone may have been inside the home.
Firefighting crews have entered that home early on and conducted search and rescue operations, as well as trying to bring the fire under control. Due to the intensity of the fire in that two-level structure, firefighters did have to withdraw after a period of time and continue firefighting operations externally. Subsequent inquiries did confirm that all persons had evacuated the dwelling.
The Environment Protection Authority is tightening requirements on large developments. Peter Hislop explains.
New developments in the Hunter, including coal mines, landfill sites, cement and metal manufacturers, will need to provide detail on how much pollution they'll generate. The EPA says the new regulations are in response to community calls for factoring emissions into the planning system. Developers will need to include information on emissions projections and what their plan is to minimise pollution. The agency won't have powers to enforce the regulations, but will instead provide advice to the Independent Planning Commission. Existing facilities won't have to provide this detail, only when new changes are proposed involving large additional emissions.
The family of missing Sydney woman Rhiannon Horn is renewing their appeal for information on what happened to her 50 years since she disappeared. The 24-year-old walked out of the now demolished Shortland Mental Health Clinic in Newcastle on the night of February 1st, 1975. She hasn't been seen since, and her original case file disappeared. Rhiannon's sister, Catherine McConaughey, has told the ABC any information could bring her family answers.
If anyone has any information about Rhiannon, either before or after she went missing, no matter how minor it may seem, please come forward with it.
Maitland Council says a years-long fight to reclassify Medford Road as a state road needs to end soon. Council's worked with Transport for New South Wales on traffic studies and found the notorious stretch is in need of upgrading. Mayor Philip Penfold says local government can't upgrade the road on their own.
For that road to simply be a local road is too much for the council to deal with. It's too much for the residents to deal with, more importantly. The congestion there can get significant at peak times, and we're calling on the state to assist us in that regard.
Newcastle Council says a 30-unit housing project at Railbridge Row on Hunter Street will help mitigate the region's shortage. The national invitation's been sent to developers to build on the vacant site, once taken up by the now truncated rail line. Council's David Clark says the project is much needed.
And it's different to market housing. It's really targeted at those low to moderate earners, a bit like the essential workers who work in our community. Affordable housing units will be strongly demanded by members of our community.
2NURFM Sport.
Newcastle's McDonald Jones Stadium has been announced to host 4 pool matches during the 2027 Rugby World Cup. Being one of 2 non-capital cities to host matches, is expected Newcastle will see great economic benefit from the matches. Rugby Australia CEO Phil Waugh told NBN the matches are also an opportunity for rugby union to gain popularity in a mainly rugby league town.
We certainly see that as a growth area for rugby. We know that we've got to coexist with other codes in that region, and we're happy to do that.
It's an F3 derby doubleheader in the A-Leagues tomorrow as both Jets' men's and women's side travel to Gosford to take on the Mariners. Both sides are coming off the back of 2-2 draws in their previous matches and are in desperate need of a win to keep their seasons alive. The women's match kicks off at 10-5 before the men's match gets underway at 7:35. And former Knights captain Kurt Gidley has backed Phoenix Crossland and Jack Cogger to start the 2025 season in the Harves together. That's sport. I'm Will McGrath.
And the winning numbers in Powerball are 1, 2, 12, 13, 18, 19 and 23, and the Powerball is 4. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.